Chapter 912. Sharon was growing with curiosity toward Wilbur herself. This was a bet worth over $1 billion. How could he promise all of it to Tiff just like that? Would he really follow through with it if Tiff were to say yes? And if he refused to follow through, what was going to happen? Of course, she quickly brushed the thought aside. All bets confirmed, Sharon called out, then started shaking the dice. Tiff felt as if her heart had stopped beating, ready to pass out at any moment. Edward and Jesse's eyes were bloodshot at this point, their pupils almost popping out of the sockets as they stared at the dice. The two girls behind them were nervous as well, knowing that they were doomed if those two men lost. They even considered the possibility of being tortured to death, their chests heaving at the thought. Please let them win. The girls prayed silently. The two girls had somehow begun to pray on Edward and Jesse's behalf. Tiff trembled all over, leaning against Wilbur once again. She knew that this would be the last round, the one to determine the victor. There was not an ounce of energy left in her body. A bet like this was not something just about anyone could withstand. Sharon stared at the dice. 3, 4, 6, 13. Big. That's impossible. Fucking impossible. Edward flew to his feet, shouting at the top of his lungs. Jesse glowered at Sharon as well. How could it be big? Are you all in on this? Is this a trap to get us? Both men lost their minds at once, shouting at the top of their lungs. The two girls with them were trembling from head to toe as well, not daring to imagine just how they were going to last the night. Tiff went completely soft. She was truly numb this time, sliding off Wilbur onto the ground. Wilbur grabbed her without even looking over, pulling her up and sitting her in place. Tiff was drenched in sweat, her chest heaving as she stared at Wilbur in terror. She was genuinely beginning to fear this man. It was honestly hard to believe that all of this was just a case of good luck. No one could stay on a winning streak like this since the day before, having not even lost once. Tiff was starting to suspect that Wilbur had somehow cheated. How else had he been able to bet all in every single time, and win too? That hardly made any sense. Sharon frowned at Edward and Jesse. You made a bet, gentlemen, and you have to keep it. You know how seriously we take this here. Both men jerked harshly, falling back into their chairs. The casino had a level of power that Edward and Jesse did not quite dare to mess with yet. Anyone capable of opening a casino here was definitely someone with incredible connections and power. However, the two men had just lost $600 million. That was definitely enough money hurt. No, let's keep going. We want to keep going, Edward shouted furiously. Jesse's eyes were bloodshot. Yes, you can't just leave after you win another round. Wilbur merely smiled at them.